that says a lot for me. I know scrims aren't everything, and Quadrant haven't necessarily transitioned from scrims to tournament play too well as of late. The fact that they can win game types, this series layout is going to be a very important one. Oh, there it is.
There it is. Go on, Gaskin. What do you make of the series layout?
All right, so I'm trying to... Can we keep it up just for a little second so I can look up? So Live Fire, Strongholds, they didn't play each other. Slayer Recharge, they didn't play each other. Bazaar CTF, Acend 1-2-1 on Bazaar CTF, Oddball Streets, Quadrant 1, and then Slayer Aquarius, Acend 1. So naturally, I'm looking at Acend having the advantage in that in terms of they won 2-1 on scrims when you look at those 3 game types. But that leaves open Live Fire Strongholds and Slayer Recharge. I will say, though, Acend are very good at Strongholds, and Quadrant lost every single Strongholds game against them in that scrim. So I think that this series layout does lend itself towards the Acend roster.
Yeah, for sure. I also think, you know, in terms of comparing the two teams right now, we talk about the pace being set, and Acend very much do set that pace, but they also control the aggression really, really well. They apply pressure, but they're also extremely efficient when it comes to objective work as well. So they have that efficiency through every single map in a series. I mean, I'm going to throw it to the casters right now, but I'll also throw a question with you guys as well. Shazy, Gaskin, you know, are we looking to match the pace of Acend here for Quadrant, or are we looking for Quadrant to slow things down in their favor and set the pace themselves? Little food for thought as we get into our grand finals.
Say in scrims and in this competition here today, they can match up against Acend. They can get results. Do they have what it takes to win the entire series? I think that's an entirely different question. And my honest opinion would be no. I don't believe that they've got what it takes right now to take down Acend, who just seem unbeatable. But would I love to see it? Hell yeah, I would. I really hope that this is a series that, you know, everyone in the EU community wants to see, a closely contested one, someone to go toe-to-toe with Acend and match them, similarly to what Na'Vi did in previous weeks, where it was such a closely contested 3-2.
Na'Vi, the lads, HMCA, and an old foe, an old rival, Quadrant looking to get the once-over here and now. Grand Finals, Game 1, Live Fire Strongholds. Let's get it cooking.
And all 4 were dead there from Acend. So we're back to normality with the olden days when Quadrant would have the better starting strategy than Acend. And it goes so far back that it wasn't Quadrant versus Acend. It was Cartel versus OEX at one point. But now they found their footing, they found their organizations. And it's been Acend who have been the better side since those organizations have been picked up. But now Quadrant are back to their best. And SLG is starting to heat up.
Something that excites me, Dan, particularly in that last series that we've seen. Had it been a Game 5 Slayer and they just squeezed out the result, you would maybe think, okay, well, they haven't separated themselves from the chasing pack. But Quadrant 3-0'd HMCA, who have been looking very, very good in recent weeks. Is this finally the return of form that we need to see?
I think it is. I think that we had to have someone not only matching Acend and trying to give them a better matchup in the grand final, but also push HMCA further, push Na'Vi further, push the lads further. You know, you don't want to get too comfortable in your position in top 2 or top 3. Otherwise, maybe you will practice a little bit less, or you think you're better than you are. All these teams are pushing each other now to become better, and that's what Europe needs as a region. As we're waffling, Acend turned around this game from being 20 points down to a trip cap. And that's what we're going to see back and forth. Both these teams going for that trip cap, trying to apply pressure. We're going to see relentless aggression time and time again.
2 dead momentarily then for Acend as Quadrant look to get some more control of the map. B's going to transfer over here. Shaady gets taken down over towards that sandbags area. And TchiK desperately tries to cover the ground. Unfortunately for him, Snipedrone's on hand. And he doesn't miss very often. He's not making or showing any signs of that here and now. Trade goes through in the kill feed. 2 dead apiece, but Strongholds in favor ever so slightly of Quadrant.
In Quadrant just trying to out-rotate Acend. You saw Snipedrone spawn towards A, left A, goes towards B, and then Quadrant sneak in behind him to make him forced to go for a decision of, do I go back to A, do I push B? And unfortunately for Snipedrone, he has to make the decision to go to B, but there was another player there and waiting. Quadrant doing really well right now to prioritize their Strongholds, but they're only behind by 3. So that says a lot. Even though they were so successful with their starting strategy, they're matching Acend's pace. When Acend do have control, Acend seem to be holding these Strongholds for a little bit longer.
What will we see then? Snipedrone has to watch the rest of his teammates scurry around the map and try and get some semblance of control. 2 Strongholds still very much in control of Acend. as we're seeing Sica transition over towards this bottom garage area. He will head towards the big door and perhaps help his team out there. And yes, indeed, that's what he does. Secures +1 for his kill death spread. Repulsor, top middle, over towards his tower sandbags. Ultimately, he gets back down, has to back off and live to fight another day.
Notice how Sica slides around pretty much every corner as well. That's to make sure that his head is going to be at a height which is difficult to hit that initial shot. Try and wobble the opposition's aim as soon as you can.
Oh!
Speaking of wobbly aims, at least he's there to get the melee. That was a oh crap moment where he said, I've got to go for the melee, otherwise I'm going to whiff completely. But all the meanwhile, Acend were doing enough to still control the map, and they take quite a significant lead now.
Just up by over a double then. Sniper rifle in the hands of a man that can do a lot of damage with it. It's going to be with Lqgend. Trying to help and provide cover fire for his teammate, and CTF unable to do so, but Lqgend trying to find the body. That player positioned across the map, unfortunately not able to land anything of significant damage. And forced to back off for now. As he rotates towards back tower. Controls going back and forth. 1v1 engagement here towards garage. Grenade comes through. 4 shots. It wasn't even required. SLG falls by the wayside.
And those are some of the most important 1v1 engagements that you'll find here on Strongholds live fire. If you lose them, you can sometimes lose over 10 seconds of time to another team just because they're able to keep control of either A or C when those fights are going down. And Snipedrone is just one of those players who does win those individual fights time and time again. And Quadrant now stuck in a little bit of a spawn cycle where they're struggling to push out. They don't know whether they should be pushing towards B or whether they should be pushing towards A. The difficulty is, if you push round towards that power-up side, you leave yourself very vulnerable to being spawn trapped. If you go towards pillars, you could be outshot by the angles that the other team can be taken. So this is a real struggle for Quadrant at the moment.
Over 100 points of unanswered time. A and B still in control of Acend, and like Dan speaks of, it's a real struggle now for Quadrant to battle their way back into this game. Caught on real staggered spawns. NURIX hit once again. And that means 2 members will go down for Quadrant, and it's so hard just to get another foothold in this game because Acend have their foot in the gas here and they're not letting off.
And it is worth noting and remembering that we do think Acend are one of the best teams on Strongholds in any region. It's been noted by some of the best American players as well. They said, look, when we played Acend on LAN, they were different gravy when it came to their Strongholds playstyle. It's so difficult that they can switch up the pace whenever they want. They'll pressure you, they'll go for those trip caps, but when they do have the double cap and they know they have to hold the double cap, the angles they take and the spawns that they force make it so irritating to play against. And Quadrant will know that. Quadrant, in scrims, they consistently lose Strongholds to Acend. They know, looking at these game types, that this is probably not where they find their victory. They just want to put up as much of a fight to try and stay warm and try and stay in it.
Acend only require now less than 30 points to secure game 1 in this best of 5 grand finals. Quadrant, try as they might, have been unable to do what we asked of them to match the pace. After the opening strats, it was been very much Acend. Once they got control, they showed no signs of letting off, and Lqgend into a good engagement here, bottom middle, faced with 2 members of Quadrant. Ultimately, finally gets taken down, but the damage is done. 4 dead now for Quadrant.
Notice how when Acend went a couple of seconds down there, when they lost the Strongholds, they didn't just jump in one to try and win it back. Instead, they all grouped up, they took the fights, they got the slays first, and then they jump in the Strongholds. Now it's another total control, and points are really being racked up. I think this one is probably done and dusted.
This one, very shortly, will go into the history books, and there we have it. Game 1, Acend draw first blood in our grand finals. They go up 1-0 in the series.
And this is a performance that we expected from Acend. They are far better when it comes to Strongholds than any other team in the region right now. It was looking promising to start with from Quadrant. They were matching them pace-wise. Starting strategy seemed to be there. SLG was hitting shots with a sniper. They were feeling it, but then the honeymoon period kind of died a little bit, and Acend went, oh yeah, we're just far better than them when it comes to this game type. Let's turn it on again, shall we, lads? And that's what happened. Lqgend started to pop off the slays. You can see he got 20 kills and just the 10 deaths. Kills all around the board, it has to be said. SLG tried to do as best as he could to keep up with his slaying department, but I don't think that that one is too disheartening for the Quadrant roster. They will know full well that with this best of 5 series, they were likely to lose any sort of Strongholds. And maybe it's good to get it out of the way for game 1, because now they can just reset themselves, say, let's pretend it's 0-0, let's focus on what else is in front of us.
It's an important point you raised, Dan. Perhaps looking at the series layout and they've seen that Strongholds Livefire was going to be game one, that they almost disregarded, okay, listen, likelihood is here, with the way scrims have gone, we're going to go down 1-0 in the series. Let's almost look and turn our attentions to the recharge layer, and that's where our series is going to start. So do they need to get on the board here nice and early and get some lovely kills to get themselves back into the series?
Yeah, I think that when they look at what's elsewhere in the series, a Bazaar CTF, which Acend won very much narrowly, they know full well they could win that game type. And then when they look at Oddball Streets, that was a game type that was then won by Quadrant. So there's two that they could really get victories here. I think the worrying one for me is Slayer Aquarius as game 5, because they did get hammered 50-31 in scrims. And I know the scrims aren't everything, but that certainly paints a picture to suggest that Acend have the better on them on that game type. But the perfect way to answer back now is Recharge Slayer. They didn't play against each other on scrims recently, so it's not necessarily a game that is going to be hyper-focused on me in terms of statistics, because both of them have found success in various different scrims on this game type. But when you look at how Acend play Recharge, they're terrifying to go up against. As soon as you are on the spawn or off the spawn and there's only a couple of you up, Acend will be pushing those advantages. They don't necessarily hold angles constantly. It's more Snipedrone will sit top gold or top elevator, and the rest of the French roster just swarm you as a 3. It's very infuriating to play against, but it is certainly enjoyable to watch them do it at their best.
Here we go then. Game 2. Who's going to be at their best? Only time will tell when the 12 minutes is up as who will lock this one in. But 2 kills go the way of Quadrant right off the bat. It's a terrible start for Quadrant early doors.
Yeah, Quadrant just losing a couple of players, make it 3. Snipedrone able to put a 3rd one in there.
Oh no.
And Sica managing to make it 4. So all 4 members of Quadrant temporarily eliminated from the server. And you say, oh no, and we know why. Because if Acend managed to get a 5, 6, 7 kill advantage, you know that they usually push on from that, where it becomes a very one-sided affair, where it suddenly is 10, 15 kills, and we've got a spectacular on our hands. Quadrant can't allow that to happen, but they're already 9-2 down. It's not good signs. They need a fresh 4 dead on the side of Acend to get back into this game. They can't allow Acend to run away with it.
Really to reset momentum here, and here we go. 2 more kills go the way of Acend. They're showing no signs of slowing down here, much to my dismay. Really want to see Quadrant make a series out of it, but by no means are they out of things here. Like Dan speaks of, they get a fresh 4 dead, they can certainly turn their fortunes around, but when challenges like that come through and Snipedrone hits BR shots just like that, it's a long road ahead.
It's an interesting one, Recharge, as well, because Acend were able to win Recharge Strongholds in the scrims, but Quadrant won the Recharge Oddball game. So both of them know how to play this map. It's an entirely different affair, of course, when Slayer comes into it, and sometimes it can be really tough if you do find yourself a significant amount of kills behind to get back into the game, because there isn't necessarily that many tools to try and worm your way in terms of power weapons. You've got the shock rifle, but that only works in the best of players' hands, and even though there are players capable, i.e. SLG, you've got to get that shock rifle. It's in such an awkward position on the map that you leave yourself so vulnerable unless you've got a grapple trying to pick that one up.
From 9-2 to 17-11. So very much still a lot of breathing room between these 2 teams as we go back and forth, and we will see another camouflage. You can see Lqgend just baiting it here expertly, realizing that if he drops down, it will be to almost certain death, and he didn't even get to leave the blue box before being sent to the black. And this engagement still going down for camouflage all the while, trading back and forth. Nobody been able to secure it just yet. It looks as though Quadrant are in certainly the best position to pick it up, and there we have it. SLG scoops it up and pops it straight into his chest.
Yeah, nice string of kills there for Quadrant. A good listening from SLG. Needs to stay alive. This camouflage could be very important. Snipedrone's peppering him from that shock rifle position that I spoke of, but SLG got called out, and that's such good quick reactions from Lqgend to jump in and ensure that that camouflage won't play a part anymore.
It's a 4-kill game though. Quadrant have clawed their way right back into things here. A fresh 4 dead, like we speak of, will do their confidence the world of good. Unfortunately though, Lqgend hits all those shots and sends NURIX home packing. SLG picks up 2 though, so honors even. A 3-kill game now all of a sudden.
And I think this will give Quadrant a lot of confidence. When you look down at that score line and you're 7, 8 kills behind, you start to get a little bit deflated. But the fact that that's been able to be significantly closed between the 2 teams will at least show that, you know, we can get back into this game. Let's not give this one up just yet. Even if they manage to do it again, we know we can pull it back with a nice amount of kills. Maybe a camouflage can help us do it. I think it will be difficult if Snipedrone gets hold of a shock rifle. And uh-oh, as I say that, Snipedrone gets 2 kills in the kill feed. He's picked up the snipe rifle and he's set up shop at top gold, and he is on a tear right now.
Let's transition the eyes, and they look at that. They already know. Straight over to Snipedrone to see what he can do with the shock rifle. Can he get cooking? Has he got some cooking oil? Unfortunately for him, no, says no. Shut down by NURIX. TchiK also picks up one onto Sica. Shaady wants a bit of that action, and he will get a piece of it. That's a double kill for the boys on Quadrant. But still, all this time, a 6-kill game.
Crazy, really, that Snipedrone gets 4 kills back-to-back. As soon as we go onto his POV, he goes straight down. If you talk about an observer curse, a caster curse, that was very much prominent in that situation. 6-kill game, as you say, and you know, TchiK and Quadrant, they're working in tandem here. They're working together, and that's what you need from one of your star players in TchiK. He really has stepped up for this roster. There was a lot of questions around his name when they originally formed, but he is very much needed for this team of 4.
Sica, anything you can do, TchiK, I can do too, and picks up a double kill in the feed, and also Lqgend's going to take him down bottom middle. And that will drop the shock rifle, and perhaps any chance that they had of making further inroads into this score and cutting this deficit. Still a 6-kill game, and the more this goes on, Dan, they're going to start running out of lives very soon.
Certainly not easy when you are turning around every single corner and there's a member of Acend already drilling you in the backside. And Acend know they just need to trade out kills at this point. As long as they're running in 2s, they're going to make this difficult for Quadrant, and we know Acend, they're usually running in 3s. And Snipedrone's usually just doing his own thing, having a la-di-da day, and probably getting kills whilst he's doing it as well.
TchiK gets a double kill then. That's going to help his cause. Getting his team right back into things here on this Slayer, on Recharge, excuse me. Different map. TchiK and NURIX, though, pick up 2 in the feed. To make this once more a 5-kill game. Sica hits the respawn screen as well, and is that going to open up the map just a touch? But it's a full man push into a double kill grenade. A 2-kill game, triple kill for TchiK. Huge plays.
The repulsor, massive in that scenario. They came flying, as Acend always do, but being able to repulse them back into the grenades he'd already thrown, TchiK was probably laughing into himself, having a little giggle, whilst Acend probably a bit frustrated in that scenario, thinking they'd be able to pick up a couple of kills. And suddenly, Quadrant are right back into this. They're asking the right questions against Acend here. A really important set of slays coming up, though. First one going to Acend.
It's traded out, though. Now just a 1-kill game all of a sudden. Camouflage in the chest of Sica, though. He's been spotted out and taken down, eliminated, erased from the map. Still 1 kill, but only 5 kills required here for Acend.
TchiK on 17 kills. You want to give him some sort of power weapon now. It's a 2-kill game. Acend 4 off winning. Fragxr in a sticky situation has to make sure he survives. He's going to be getting called out. Got to be careful as everyone is pinching him. Really good movement from Acend, though, to ensure they won that fight. They got that kill, but did they give up map position?
Fragxr desperately in no man's land. 1 kill required here for Acend, and the comeback was on, but it's been snuffed out. 50 kills to 45. Acend take game 2.
It was just too much of a lead there for Acend, wasn't it? And that was always going to be my worry, even though, you know, comebacks happen, and we've seen comebacks from Quadrant today, especially the CTF Aquarius game earlier on. It's not easy when you're playing against a team like Acend, who are so good at reacting to callouts. You noticed how Fragxr was weak, and he was trying to desperately get away. He goes into control, he walks into a player from Acend. He drops back down, Snipedrone's there staring him in the face at bottom middle, saying, "Where you going, bro? We want this kill, we just need to trade out at this point." And yeah, a very successful game for Acend, and you know, it's tough to take for Quadrant because it was a close one in the end, but I just think they gave up too many kills in the early stages when they were down by 7 or 8, and that just gave Acend the platform to push on.
Taking a look at then the tail of the tape, damage-wise, Shaady coming out with 4,400, but on the other side of things, Dan, TchiK picking up 5k, and the only player in the lobby to do just that. You spoke about how they needed to put a power weapon in his hand, but did he just run out of time in that game?
I think he did run out of time, and that was because Acend was so quick to push. They didn't allow there to be any time. They don't hesitate, and they don't get scared in those situations. Lottie was asking the question earlier, like, she wants to see Acend in uncomfortable scenarios, but every time we see them in an uncomfortable scenario, they don't look like they're struggling. They always seem to have a plan. They're always so confident to get into those fights. They don't turtle up, they don't back off. You even saw in pipes, all 3 of them come flying here at TchiK. And actually, you know, he was so close to picking up an overkill there But after getting that first one, I know it was only a triple, but that could have very easily been one of the best overs that we've seen so far today. But after all it's said and done, Quadrant, they come close, but not close enough. Acend are 2-0 up in this series, which moves us into Capture the Flag Bazaar, which in scrims was very close, but did go in favor of Acend. So Acend eyeing up yet another 3-0 grand final here. Quadrant, they need not only a reverse sweep, but they need a bracket reset and then to win yet another series. So everything's stacked against the Quadrant roster right now.
There's a lot of games that Quadrant need to win. Acend need to win just one, and they can do it here and now in our grand finals. Game 3, Bazaar CTF, and Quadrant, they're staring down the barrel of elimination. They'll be quietly content with how this tournament has gone so far, but how they would love to finally get one over on Acend.
Oh, I mean, I think Quadrant envy Acend. And certainly when you look at the history of these two teams, and SLG used to be on this roster, I mean, imagine being the mindset of SLG watching this Acend roster flourish. He was part of that record. You know, we say, like, ever since this team was a 3, ever since 2019 of October, they've never lost. Like, SLG was part of that history. But now he's not on that team, no longer. He formed this new French God Squad, which you thought were going to be able to compete, and they do compete. But unfortunately, they always come second best to Acend. And it would be such a sweet, sweet taste of victory if they were able to one day take down Acend. But at 2-0 down, their backs against the wall, it's not going to be easy.
SLG then former teammates of the boys on Acend. Jimbo there for a little while during the off-season, and now Snipedrone, the direct beneficiary of that team changing. Now he's never looked back, and he's been able to flourish in this team, and 2 kills go in the favor of Quadrant, although NURIX is going to pull this flag over towards this palm trees area, getting tagged up in the back just a touch, and has Lqgend positioned above him. Team shots coming through as well. That's not going to help his cause one bit.
It really isn't. I mean, it's such a difficult map to play when you're trying to force yourself through these little choke points, and you're so vulnerable to grenades, and you know waiting around the corner could be someone with a plasma pistol, with a mangler. You've got to be so cautious, but you also have to be confident. You have to be aggressive. So sometimes the map just goes against you, and that's why so many players don't like or don't enjoy playing it. But those who do enjoy play it find so much success because it just fits their playstyle.
Acend, like the Grim Reaper, they've already knocked on a few doors. They've already eliminated some teams, and Quadrant is the final stop for the day. They're looking to make it the 4P, back to back to back to back. We can keep on going. Any more tournaments, they'll probably win them, and Sica wins that gunfight, turns 1 into 2. Fragxr last man alive, positioned over towards Bar Bridge, and that's him taken care of as well. 4 dead here for Quadrant.
4 dead for Quadrant. Flag is moving as well, and I spoke about it earlier. The consistency of Acend's flag runs, they're flawless. They very rarely make mistakes. So Snipedrone, please don't make me look like a fool. But we get off the POV anyway. It doesn't matter too much. But it looks like this one is going to be tucked away. 1-0 to Acend, and they get 1 step closer to winning yet another grand final.
Snipedrone's hand safe as houses with that flag secures it, brings it all the way home, and tucks it into bed. Grenade goes over towards TchiK. No doubt that information has come the way of Snipedrone. I love this awareness from him, recognizing that TchiK could challenge at any point in time. The chicken scrambles out of bottom mid, knows exactly what's about to transpire. It's going to be a gunfight. It's straight up knuckles on knuckles, and unfortunately for Snipedrone, he goes by the wayside.
With Quadrant here, they're holding as much of the middle map as they can, but it seems like every time they try and get aggressive to even think about a flag pull, there's someone from Acend to stop them. Look at the hesitation as they go into tree. At least that's worked out, but they know full well there could be someone waiting, which they are. Good call-outs and good reactions from Quadrant, but Acend seem to be trading it out and making it so tough for Quadrant to actually get in that base.
Acend defense once more. Fragxr, though, on that flag podium, is going to get the pull. Rocket launchers in the hands of NURIX. This could be pivotal in securing a flag cap for his team. Lqgend's going to get dealt with handily. That's going to be a double kill, and NURIX picks up 2. Going to pick up the thruster pack to boot as well to get himself out of dodge if need be. But unfortunately for them, Acend have mid-map control.
Mid-map control. Hold on to so much right now, and they can really force Acend back. And Quadrant are look at them hesitating. SLG trying to get this flag moving, but he doesn't know where Acend are right now. He's so reluctant, but at least he's able to move it successfully. No fumbles this time, and there's a lot of pressure on SLG's back right now because he either has to move this flag or go for kills.
And he's eaten all of that grenade as overshield was about to pop. I wonder if he hesitates just a touch to secure that overshield for his team. He decided against it, and Shaady instead is going to be the direct beneficiary of that. Overshield popped into his chest, and here comes the Acend push of their own.
Rush the spawns, a couple of them for Quadrant, so at least they're in a position to really fight this, but just look how difficult it is to actually even win an individual engagement with the movement we're seeing from Acend, and Lqgend saying, you know what, screw it, I can't be bothered to take this fight, let's just get a flag moving, that'll force them out of their hidey holes. Got to be careful though, because SLG's managed to flank. That's something that Quadrant have done well. They've been overextending in this game to a point where Acend haven't been able to keep tabs on them. And now SLG doing his job, at least moving that flag far enough that they can make something work here.
You've shook me, Dan. You said hidey hole, and now I'm just saying hidey hole. But SLG is moving that flag over towards double doors, and Shady's going to be trying to get the stop. Unfortunate for him, he's not going to be able to do so. And SLG uncontested now, free flag route. It's 1-1 in the flag game. Signs of life.
Yeah, game on. I mean, this is similar to how it went into the scrims. They were really struggling to get those flags, both teams, and it came down to just one last flag that Acend were able to get the slays, and Quadrant struggled to overextend. But both Fragxr and SLG have done so well to get behind enemy lines, and Fragxr's going to try and do it once more. This is when you need to be keeping a keen eye on the kill feed. TchiK has managed to get one, but as I say that, Sica comes back and spots out Fragxr. He was hoping to be a nuisance there, watch the kill feed, and then pull the flag after a couple of kills, but it doesn't work out on this occasion.
Trying to be a thorn in the side then. This next 20 seconds is going to be pivotal. Mid-map control is going to be so important here with overshield and rocket launchers about to pop, and whoever secures that could well and truly take the lead, take this game by the scruff of its neck. Game 3 members down momentarily, make it 2 as Sica and Snipedrone try and contest for these power weapons and power-ups, and Snipedrone does just that, picking up Fragxr here. Overshield has just popped up, nobody able to get their hands on it. Same story for the rocket launcher, but Quadrant have control here, and here comes the push.
That rocket doesn't get a kill, but it does get cleaned up. That one didn't get a kill, but it does get cleaned up. And even though the rocket's maybe not doing the finishing damage, the initial damage to allow Quadrant to push up now, NURIX in the position where he can pull this flag, and it's about where the rest of the team is set up. As long as they've got someone watching down towards Trench and watching pillars, then this could be a flag run that finds success, because Acend have already put one player to try and get behind enemy lines, but he was caught out.
Lqgend was that man caught out. 2 kills go in favor of Acend, but Lqgend and Shaady also in the respawn screen. Not going to be able to get anywhere near this flag. And we're going to see Quadrant take the lead 2-1 with 5 minutes left on the clock.
Game on. This is what we need from Quadrant. We need a bit of life. If they're able to win this one, they go into game 4 with a game type that they do have a favorable advantage on when it comes to results, when it comes to practice. So they know how important it is to get the victory here. 2 initial games, they were the outliers. They hadn't played each other recently, and it was Acend who were able to take them. But now Quadrant demonstrating that they're a little bit more awake. They are ready to face this Acend roster, and they can compete. Now they just need to hold on. 4 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. You could play defensive. Arguably, you've seen teams do it before, but I think they just need to try and carry on what they're doing. Continue to be that sneaky presence. Send one behind. Be a nuisance to Acend.
Seeing how difficult it can be to defend against Acend, particularly with so much time left on the clock. 4 minutes and 20 seconds, but NURIX picks up a killing spree. Make that a double kill as well. All the medals getting tagged onto his chest. He's going to send that flag home to boot. That's exactly what Quadrant needed to close out game 3.
+9 for NURIX at the moment. He's really starting to heat up when he needed to. SLG getting those kills, but unfortunately there are spawns that are happening nearby. I think Quadrant just can't afford to be in a position where they try to commit to a flag and allow themselves to go all 4 dead in the middle of the map and give everything back to Acend, and that overshield isn't going to help either.
Here is the overshield. Snipedrone looking to get face-to-face. Looking to clear out a little bit of the ruckus. We're seeing this player getting hot and busy with it. It's going to be TchiK discarded, disregarded. But NURIX is on the other side. He's leaked through. Can he be the one to stop this flag and really plant the seed of doubt in the heads of Acend? They now recognize they have to stop him before maybe advancing their flag, but they do that handily. Shaady has the flag through double doors. 4 dead for Quadrant. They're in big trouble. They're on the ropes.
Snipedrone was getting hot and hitting it, and Shaady getting jiggy with it. You need to make sure you've got everyone on the same wavelength, and it does seem like Acend, when they do manage to be on the same page, they're so difficult to play against. There we go, and all 4 dead on the other side. Quadrant able to show what they were able to be doing, but Sica off spawn is being a real nuisance. And that's unfortunate for us.
Sica in the bar. Dishing out nothing but murder and death. That's not what you want to go to, at least. Any Yahoo reviews, that's going to be a 1-star bar. I'm not going in there anytime soon. Seeing 2-2 the score here now. Flag has been moved once more. TchiK got it over towards the double doors, but Sica's locked in a double kill for his team, and you'll see someone drop on. It's going to be NURIX, but he's met with an uppercut to the jaw. But a flag touch to keep this one alive.
Really important flag touch as well. It's so dangerous because you know you're going to die, but someone has to do it. And who else but SLG, the leader of this squad, as now that flag is so close to being scored. But Quadrant, they have to slay. But Acend are getting the kills in their favor. Snipedrone gets one onto TchiK and will get the return. It was so close, but so far.
So tantalizingly close the flag was to being capped. It was right on the doorstep. They just needed to answer the door and welcome it in. But unfortunate for them, Snipedrone comes up huge. Their flags, as a result of that's on the move, and it's already gotten through the double doors. Sica looks as though he could be about to put his hands on it. What can Quadrant do here to stop this flag?
We saw how good the callouts and the reactions were there from Acend, because about 8 nades came towards Snipedrone, but they were from his own team. The flag being moved and the flag being successfully run once more. No fumble, no hesitation. Acend take the lead with 1 minute and 30 seconds left. Quadrant are only moments away from their elimination, and Acend are moments away from once more a victory in the grand finals.
Quadrant running out of sand in the glass. It has to be done here and now. They've only got a minute left. Needs to be a flawless push. Snipedrone's going to lose his life. That's going to help their cause no end. Flag position down towards bottom middle double doors. Player down to no shield is going to be Fragxr, but he is stopped right at the doorstep. Again, SLG picks up a kill, turns his attentions once more, looking to pick the triple kill up, but Shaady shuts him down.
Shaady has to win this fight as well. He wanted to sit in the return, but he had to do the damage. Snipedrone's there to get the assist. They get the re once more, and they're going to run this one, but that re was so massive. Quadrant was so close again. Tantalizingly close, as you say. And for Acend, it's just 35 seconds of ensuring Quadrant can't get out of their base.
Shaady, just to rub salt into the wounds, add insult to injury. He's going to run yet another flag. It is going to be stopped this time around, but there's no more time. You have to go now. There's no time to stick or twist. It has to be full-on aggression. No time to wait for the power weapons. You have to get this flag pull right now. Acend, recognize that. They're playing full defense now. They're set up. SLG is going to soar in, but it's only to fire and brimstone.
So unfortunate. You're not able to get that pull. You're not even able to get sudden death. Acend have done it again. It doesn't matter who you talk about as history makers, whether it be the LA Lakers, the Colts, Bayern Munich, for their unbeaten records in sports. Acend are starting to put themselves in esports history here because they just keep winning. They haven't lost a series since October 2019, and it just seems like this record is going to carry on. Of course, I'm talking about in European competition. I know they lost series in American competition, but in Europe, they are the heavy hitters, Jersey, and it just seems like no one can get close right now.
Acend have risen all the way to the pinnacle of European Halo. They really are the flagship over here. That's how these teams should really model how they play, whether it be the pace or the raw gun skill. They're unmatched at times. Although Acend did show signs of life, they did push them all the way, and particularly in that game of CTF flag. 3-2 the resultant score. Sica, what a performance out of him, but again, Lqgend with 6,900 damage, Dan. Unbelievable performance.
It was just how clutch they came. Like every single time, Quadrant was so close to getting that flag in. They got it into their own courtyard, and it was within touching distance, within grapple distance of scoring. But Acend were always there with that extra nade, with that extra shot, and it's just as you thought. You'd taken down the last member. One more came flying through double doors or around through trench, and quite often it was Snipedrone in that finishing position. As he always is. He's that guy who just listens to those callouts. He's the last one to arrive to the party, but you know full well he's going to be the life of the party once he is there. He's hitting his shots, he's stopping those flags, and Acend, they do it again. 3-0 once more in the grand final. It doesn't matter if it's the lads, it doesn't matter if it's HMCA, it doesn't matter if it's Na'Vi. It seems even Quadrant can't take down this Acend roster. We desperately are searching for someone to be able to stop this Acend story, but it just keeps going.
They continue to be on the rise. And with the way it's shaken out, maybe it has to be a North American team that puts an end to this momentous run. There is confirmation of exactly how this series did pan out. 250 to 64. Strongholds live fire. 50-45 Slayer recharge and Bazaar CTF. Like we just seen, 3-2. It's a clean sweep for Acend once more.